Hi, my name is Dannielle. My son's name is Aiden, and he is a member of the Youth for Christ organization through the Abington Heights School District. And I'm here to talk about how amazing this organization is and the impact that it has had on our lives, but not just our lives, the lives that surround Aiden and I as well. So I'm here to tell my story, and I hope you enjoy it. He really needed to talk. He really needed to share. And we were looking for something more. And somebody told me about Youth for Christ, and they said that James Sherman was affiliated with it. And I knew James because, me and James were always high-fiving at church and everything. So I went up to him one day and I said, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit about this Youth for Christ thing?" And he kind of gave me the rundown. We exchanged numbers, and he said, "Yeah, I'll get you set up with this guy Caleb," and he explained a little bit of it to me. And I went home and I told Aiden, and I said, "Hey, I found this new thing because we got to find something that he can connect with." I said, "Why don't you just give this a shot? Give it a shot." And he says, "All right," and I got the eye roll. And we went to somebody's house. I dropped him off, and he loved it. He came out and he goes, "That was a lot of fun. I really liked it." And I was like, "Well, was it just fun or was it?" He says, "No." He's like, they really dig in and they talk about stuff." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Do you want to try it again?" He's like, "Yeah." He said he was finding himself asking a lot of questions and opening up more and talking more and relating to the kids. And he really loved the content that you guys were talking about. And it was touching him. And it wasn't just about playing games, and that part was fun too, but it was a connection. He needed that connection. He was in the baby steps, the beginning part of building his relationship with Jesus. He didn't quite know how to pursue that relationship, and you guys were really answering a lot of questions for him. And then one day he came home and he said, "Hey, do you think, sometimes they're looking for some houses to hang." He's like, "Do you think maybe we can host sometime?" I'm like, "Yeah, we could do that sometime." A day later, I get this text. He's like, "Next one's going to be at Aiden's house." And I'm like, so I was like, okay. And listen, I want to be involved. I want to be a part of it. So I gave it a shot, and I said, "Yeah, let's host the kids over here." And so I try to do it as often as I can. And I see the progression, and I see I hear the things downstairs that are going on, and I just hear everything. And he just loves to be a part of it. And he loves the message that you guys give. And he started going to school and talking about it with his friends, and he started inviting his friends. And he said, he's like making Jesus cool. He's like, "Why don't you come hang out at my house and we'll talk about Jesus every Monday?" And so next thing I know, all these new kids are coming, and they're all his friends from school. And some of them stayed, some of them didn't, some of them still kind of come from time to time. But he's really made such a connection with this, and it's his thing. If you guys don't have campus life on a Monday because school's closed or something, he is bummed. He's looking for somebody to call or text. He's just like, "What's going on?" I think a very pivotal moment for him where he knew that was you guys were his people. One of the houses one night, he came out, and I remember Scarlett gave him a really big hug. She's like, "Are you okay?" And he came in the car and he sat down and he was real quiet. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he said that was the first time he really opened up and he shared about his struggles that he was going through. Didn't really specify what they were, but he was able to share in front of the group and I guess maybe some one-on-one time also. And it really helped him realize a lot of things that were going on in his life with school, friends, his father, just personal stuff that was going on in our life. And from there on out, it seemed like things started really changing, and he started being really hyper focused on this is something that I need to do. And when it came to Breakaway, I wasn't sure, I wasn't sure if he would be into that. I was just like, "Hey, there's this thing. It sounds like a cool thing for kids," and I thought I was going to get the eye roll, "Nah, it's all right. I'm good with Mondays." But he's like, "No, I want to go." I'm like, "Okay." And I was a little scared because it was the first time that he'd ever been away from me, except on, vacation and everything. But, I was like, okay. And they, we've tried to find, I'm a single mom. I'm on a single mom budget. And I was like, how much is this going to cost? And I am so thankful that you guys have a program that is set up so that the kids can take charge of their own fundraising and raise the money to be able to do these things. Like, it's just like, I'm not sure like how often I would ever be able to afford to do stuff like that. I don't have like a lot of extra money laying around. So he's like, I can sell chocolate. And when I tell you that he says he can sell chocolate, like, he's a machine with it. Like, he just got a box last night. It's gone already. It's already gone. I'm hoping that you guys have a box of chocolate here because he needs another box. But so he, like, I never saw him, and he sold chocolate for himself. And then he sold chocolate for Scarlett, and he sold, like, anybody who needs chocolate, he sells it for them. And so he goes on the trip, and, well, I got to tell a funny story first. So I grew up in the 90s. I like rap. I know I don't look like it, but I like rap. And so that's something that him and I connect with because he's into rap, but I don't like the secular rap. I like to listen to Christian rap, and there's a lot of really good Christian rap out there, right? I was trying to introduce him to some of this music, and he's like, "Ma, no," you know what I mean? He's like, I'm not into Christian rap. And I was like, all right. He goes to Breakaway, and there's a Christian rapper there, and he's sending me texts, "Mom, I cannot believe how great Christian rap is." And I'm like, really? So anyway, it was very hard to get him to listen to Christian music. But when that came up, that was a connection for us. And so he came home, and he got so excited about this Christian rap artist that he listened to, that when he came home, he started making all these playlists, and he was sending me all these songs, and songs that I already had on my playlist. I was like, that's great. To the point where one night I was getting ready for bed. It was like 10:15, and I was laying in bed. I think I told you the story. I was like, I just got in bed, and I was like, hey, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Let me know when you're going to bed. And I get this text from his room, and he goes, "Ma." I'm like, what? He says, "Do you want to just jump in the car and drive around Scranton and listen to music? I made a playlist, and I want to listen to it." And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And so we get up. I put my regular clothes on. We get out. It's like, in the middle of the week, I got to work the next day. But we get in the car, and we just drove around. We didn't really talk a lot, but he had the windows rolled down. It was 35 degrees, but he had the windows rolled down. And he had his arm out, and we were listening to Christian rap, and we were both just bobbing our head, just driving around Scranton, and he loved it. And it was just such a great moment for him. And he was he's so into this music now. And now, it's making him want to read the Bible more. He's opening up his Bible, and he's telling me these verses that he loves. And I'm asking him, do you know what these verses mean? Do you understand the context behind them? And he's understanding them because he's reading it, and he's got a study Bible. So he's reading his things on the side. And it's just opening up so much more dialogue for us now, whereas before I kind of felt like what we were going through with his dad, I was dragging him along on my journey. Like, when he had a hard time with, his dad leaving, it was his world the rug just got pulled out from under him. And I was like, well, I'm just going to be a mom, scoop him up, protect him, and I'm going to bring him on my journey. I'm going to take care of him. But he really needed to find his own feet. He needed to dig his own post holes. He needed to pursue his own journey. And so I had to kind of let go a little bit. And it's hard for a single mom to do that. I had to let go of it. But Aiden being a part of this organization with you guys helped me trust that process. I was able to let go and kind of hand him over to you guys and be like, help. And you guys have helped so much. And they say that if you're a single parent, especially a mom of a single parent of a young man, a son, that you should have at least 5 really influential, strong Christian men around them to help them, not raise them, but just good influential men that those kids know that they could go to if they don't have a father in their life. And I thought, well, I work from home. I don't get out much. Where am I going to find these people? But through this organization, you guys have really become such a huge part of his everyday life. It's not just Monday for him. It's every day. It's every single day. And he knows he can trust you guys. He knows he can count on you. He knows that you're going to answer the questions. He knows that he could fall into you. I can't be both parents. I try, but there's just certain things that I can't fulfill as a single mom. And like I said before, I don't even have enough words to properly articulate to you guys. I don't even think you know how, like maybe you do because of your own family and your own situations, but you have no idea what it means for a woman like me who has gone through what I have gone through in my life to watch my son fall apart to pieces to the point where I didn't think I was going to get him back. I really didn't think I was going to get him back. And to watch the seeds that you're putting in him, that you're planting in him, and you just keep watering it, and just to watch him grow. He's still a work in progress. We all are, right? I'm a work in progress. But I went from having a very broken, fractured, almost non-existent relationship with my son a couple years ago to now, probably last year, to now, he wanted nothing to do with me. Last year, he came home from his father's. He went to visit his father in Texas for a month, and he said he wanted to leave. He wanted to go down and live with his dad. That was a moment that I had to really lean into God and trust him for guidance. Something, I don't know, something happened during that time, a couple of months with campus life, because at the time he really wasn't talking to me a lot, but something happened and I don't know what it was. But something happened during campus life, those first couple months that he got back, or when he started going, like when you guys started up, when school started again. And it was, part of it was that night that I was saying, you know, when at that house, when he opened up about some things, it was like a light bulb went off and he realized, and that's when he really started kind of pursuing his relationship with Jesus. I wanted to be selfish. I wanted him to pursue his relationship with me and be like, come back to me. But I just had to, I felt God saying, let him go. This is where he needs to be right now. So faithfully every Monday I was sending him to you guys and helping him just do whatever he needed to do. And little by little, he started coming back, and he has developed into such an amazing young man. When he came back from breakaway, not just about the rap music, but whatever classes he picked there, the breakout rooms that you guys did, I think he picked the family one. And when he came back, he it was like he just grew up overnight. It was a real struggle. You know how it is with teenagers. Well, I don't know if you know yet, but you know, just to say, hey, can you take out the garbage? And it's like the drama that comes out of them is just unreal. Just for one little question, the eye rolls, the I'll get to it when I get to it type of thing. And now, you know, he'll be playing his video games and I'll say, when you get a break, can you help me with something? He drops what he's doing. He's like, what do you need, Mom? I got it. What do you need? Things that I'm a single parent, so I'm used to doing everything on my own. Like I do everything by myself. Now he steps in, he's like, let me do that for you. You know, you don't have to do that. Let me do that. And he just picks up a lot of slack. His attitude at home has changed a lot. I don't even remember when's the last time we got into an argument. I don't even remember when is the last time he rolled his eyes about anything. He's so respectful now. He's so loving. He's so affectionate now. Like he still has his alone time in his room, but now we have like our time together where we can conversate and talk about life, and, you know, not in depth, but he is opening up more and talking to me, asking me questions about God and the Bible. I woke up one night, it was late. I saw his light on. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he up so late? He was in there reading his Bible. So, I mean, that's, I bought him a Bible a couple years ago, and it just kind of sat there, I don't think he knew what to do with it, but I'm like, when you're ready, you're going to pick that up and you're going to start reading it. And so, so he reads his Bible more now. He's taking care of business at home. He was getting into a lot of trouble in school, a lot. I was getting phone calls and emails from school all the time. He got suspended from school a couple times, fighting, different things. He's fine now. He's been making some really good decisions back when things were really, really bad. And when I tell you they were bad, I mean, he was, I don't know, how do I word this? Very hurtful and harmful to the people around him, to himself, and just destructive everywhere. And one night he had a really, really bad episode, really bad. He barricaded himself in his room, and it was just one of those nights that we had to stay away from each other. And I just went to my room and shut my door, praying, of course, like, what do I do? What do I do? That night, he told me, I didn't find this out until later, but that night he said that he cried out to God and he asked Jesus, how do I make myself more like you? How do I make myself, I want to be like you. How do I make myself more like you? And he said he cried and, got through it. I didn't know about this conversation, but later on we had talked about it, and I like the progression of, how he really takes in all this stuff from campus life and the topics that you guys bring up and how it relates to these kids' lives, and how he's taking that and applying it to his everyday things, how he treats me at home, how he treats people in school. He went from a kid who used to fight all the time, getting in trouble and getting suspended from school, to now he is stopping and pausing and thinking things through and deciding not to make bad decisions and not doing the things that used to get him in trouble before, and being more respectful, being more thoughtful, being more compassionate, being more gentle about things, being more helpful. And I sat down with him the other night. We were talking about Jesus. We were talking about the book he was reading. He's been reading Jeremiah, and he really loves it. And he had told me previously about that conversation that he had with Jesus. And I said, do you see that night? I said, God heard your prayer. He listened to you and he heard it and he answered it. And he was like, yeah, but I'm still angry a lot. And I'm like, Aiden, I was like, we're all a work in progress. Like, I get angry sometimes too. I said, nobody's perfect. The only one who's perfect is Jesus. I said, but Jesus heard you that night and you cried out to him. You invited him into your space and you asked him to change you. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens in baby steps. I said, look at all the things that you have done. All of this could not have happened alone by me. I couldn't have done it. All of this happened because you guys have this amazing organization, and you sacrifice your time away from your families, away from your own jobs, you literally put everything you have every week consistently for year after year after year, and you pour into these kids and you listen to them. The fact that you guys come back every week for these kids and you teach them about how loved they are, and the investment that you put into them. Some kids grew up like that and they're used to it and they're like, yeah, I grew up in a church and I'm good. But then there's other kids who this is brand new to them. There's kids that really truly don't know what their identity is, and they're lost in the world. Aiden was one of those people. He was very lost in the world. When he lost his dad, when his dad moved to Texas, his whole world flipped upside down. And he's learning now that even though physically he doesn't have a father there, he has a heavenly Father who loves him and who's there for him all the time. And he's learning that because of what you guys are helping me teach him, the values that you're instilling in him. And that hole that he had is closing up. It's filling up now with God's love. And there's no way I could thank you guys enough. There's no words that I could properly say to you. I just don't feel like it would ever be enough. It would never be enough for me to say thank you, even though thank you is enough. I know you would say that's fine. It's fine. I feel like I owe you so much. I owe you guys so much. And I think about you guys all the time. It's not just like, oh, you guys are coming over at 6 o'clock. Okay, I better get the snacks out and everything. It's not, I think about you guys every single day when I look at my son and I see the progress that he's made and I see that I have my son back. I would do anything for you guys. Anything that you ever needed, I would, if I could do it, I would do it. And I know that God uses you guys as, this is, it's all about God. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? But like, God picked you, like handpicked you guys to do this for our kids. And these kids are our future generation. Like, what if we didn't have you? You guys just do what you do because you do it out of love. You do it out of obedience. You're doing it because God called you to do it. Anybody can walk away and be like, this is too much for me. It is, man, teenagers are a lot. I know that teenagers are a lot, especially the teenagers who have a lot of trouble at home and a lot of problems. It's easy to just say, you know what, my life is good. I don't want to deal with this. But you keep coming back every week and you keep at it because of your obedience and your love. That says a lot about who you are. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. We used to actually be very, very close when he was younger. And then when his dad, just a lot of anger. The enemy had a very tight grip on him, super tight. And I had to carefully navigate through those waters. I mean, there were sometimes it got so bad that I didn't know what else to do. And he would just be out of control. And I would just start saying Jesus over and over again. Sometimes when you just don't have the words and you don't know what to say, and he would just be like out of control. And I would just stand there and say, Jesus, 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 help me. And he would just calm right down. And I knew it. And my goal in life is not to make sure he gets in the best colleges or that he plays on the best sports team or that he has all the best clothes or cars. I told him, I said, my job is to make sure that you get to heaven because I want to be there waiting for you. And I will not let the enemy keep him. I will not. And so campus life has been a part of that journey. Campus life is a very powerful tool against the enemy. He's doing amazing. I'm so proud of him and I'm so happy for him because it's not just like me, you know, like being selfish, like we have a great relationship. Now I'm looking at him, the way he interacts with other people, the way he interacts with people at school, the way he just interacts with people at church. And he's turning into an amazing disciple. He really is. And that has so much to do with the work that you guys put in to this organization. Like I couldn't be more thankful. So whatever I can do to give back, I'm forever indebted to you. Every time I've ever talked to somebody about Youth for Christ, they just lose words. They don't have words. They're like, that organization is amazing. And I see now why. And I just thank you for investing in my son. Thank you for pouring into him and loving him. Thank you for teaching him, and thank you for supporting my efforts at home, because it's tough.